and welcome to our lipstick. So today I'm going to be doing for you this beautiful kind of sunset inspired summery look using a lot of peaches and kind of rose gold tones. I am going to be using the Naked 3 palette, which is primarily the rose gold kind of eyeshadows. I'll show you here real quick. It's these beautiful eyeshadows. I really like these for spring and summer because it's just, when you go outside, it really catches the light. They're very nice, pretty kind of summery colors in general. So I am really excited about this look. This look is particularly featured for people with hooded eyes. So this technique is great for people with hooded eyes because it helps to create the illusion that your eyes aren't quite as hooded as they are. So yeah, if you would like to see how to get this look, just keep on watching. Alright guys, so I am going to be using the Urban Decay Naked 3 palette today. And I do want to point out that you don't have to have this palette to create a look like this. You can use any sort of eyeshadows that you have at home. You can use any colors that you prefer if you don't like the colors that I use. You don't have to have this. I do want to point out that it's really just kind of about application, how you apply the eyeshadows to hooded eyes, and really kind of matching colors together. So if you don't want to use the colors that I use or the palette I use, you totally can still create a look like this with hooded eyes using something else. So I just wanted to point that out, so let's get into it. First and foremost, I've already, as you can see, done my foundation, eyebrows, that stuff, and I've already primed my eyelids. And the reason I did that was because we're really just going to focus on the eyes today, the cheeks, and then the lips. So I want to get that boring stuff out of the way first. I have a million face tutorials on here already. So I did prime my eyelids already, like I said, with the Urban Decay Primer Potion. That's this one. And so I just got that on there, and I did set it with a powder. The reason I do that is because it's easier to mix the eyeshadows on top of it when it's set. So I'm going to go into the Naked 3 palette here. And the main brushes I'm going to be using today are going to be the brush that came with the set and a big fluffy brush like this, which I promise is clean. It's just very stained. This is a Sonia Kajuk brush. And then I'm going to be using some other brushes throughout, another big fluffy kind of dome-shaped brush just to do like the brow bone area. But that's really kind of it for brushes. So you don't need a ton of brushes to do this either. So first and foremost, I'm going to start out with this Sonia Kajuk brush, and then I'm going to go into kind of a medium brown shade, which is this one right here called Factory. And this is, or I'm sorry, Nooner is what I'm going to use. We're going to be using this brown shade here called Nooner. And I'm just going to take a little bit on this fluffy brush like this, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to be creating my crease with this. So what I do is I start out first, my mirror is right underneath the camera, so I'm staring straight into the mirror, face relaxed. I'm going to start putting this where my natural crease is, and then lift my brow up so I can get it in there. So I'm going to be applying it in the crease when I lift, and also the area that I started to apply it when my face was relaxed. So you're going to go up on the lid a little bit. And I'm just going to be doing moon-shaped motions like this to build up the intensity. So really pretty much what I'm doing is I'm feeling the area where my actual orbital bone is, right here. You can feel on your own face where the natural kind of bone is, and I'm going right in that area that's got the moon shape. Just following the natural curve of the bone. I'm just going to kind of build that up a little bit until I find that I like the color. And as you can see already, that's creating this kind of faux crease here. It makes it look like you can actually see my crease, and my eyes are a lot bigger than they naturally are. So just do that on both sides. And another tip is you don't want to take a ton of eyeshadow at once. You really kind of gradually want to build up, because you can always put more on, but you can't take any away unless you completely restart your face makeup over again. And also I do want to point out that my eyes are different. I do have two different kind of hoods. Let's see, the right one is a lot more hooded than the left one. So all that really means is I'm just taking the eyeshadow a little bit higher on the hood on the right to kind of compensate for that extra droopage over here. And then this other one, this eye here, my left eye, I don't have to do quite as much work with. All right, so now that I've built up my crease, I'm going to go in with the brush that came with the set, this one, and I'm going to use this kind of fluffier, flat-sided one. And I'm going to be dipping into the color Burnout. And this is really kind of an orangey, kind of rose gold kind of color. It's got a little bit of shimmer in it, but it's not as intense as this one right next to it, which is Dust. So I want to dip my brush, the flat kind of shader brush, in this one. And I'm going to be applying it to the entire lid. I'm really just kind of packing it on in kind of dabbing motions like this. I don't swipe when I put it on because I find that that creates a lot of fallout and makes a mess of my kind of under eye concealer and stuff. I know some people put their foundation on after their eyes, but I tend not to, just out of habit. Not that I really think that you shouldn't do it that way, it's just force of habit. Alright, so now that I've got that completely on the entire lid, I'm actually going to be going back in with my same kind of fluffy brush here. And I'm going to be dipping into this really dark color over here called Dark Side. It's kind of a really deep, deep brown. And I'm just going to dip my fluffy brush in there, tap off any excess so it's not getting all over my face. And this is what I'm going to be creating the depth at the end of my eye with. So all I really do is take the brush right in here and swirl around in the outer V area. If you're not familiar with what the outer V is, it's just this kind of like V shape that your eye makes from going from the bottom lash line up and then inward into your orbital bone here. That's the V. That's the outer V. And this actually packs in pretty intensely very quickly, so that's really all I'm going to do with it. One dip in here. I'm not going to make it too insane. I want these looks to be wearable for you guys. But the reason that we do this is it's creating depth on the outside corner of our eyes, making it look like it's sunken in. Because a lot of people with hooded eyes have this extra skin over here that just kind of droops down and make your eyes look sad. So what we're doing is we're creating this dark spot here, creating a shadow, making it seem like our eyes go inward here, rather than actually having a hood that flops outward. So now that I've got that to the desired color payoff that I want, I'm going to go in with a different fluffy brush, or you can use a flat brush, it really doesn't matter. This is a Real Techniques Dome Shadow Brush, and I'm just going to go into this kind of bone white kind of color, and this is going to be my eyebrow highlight, or brow bone highlight. I just kind of sweep that right under the brow. It really helps highlight the brow and also kind of helps to blend the eyeshadow up here. So now what I'm going to do before I work on the lower lash line is I'm just going to clean it up a little bit, clean up the edges and things a little bit with some concealer. I'm just going to go into my MAC concealer here, squirt some out on the back of my hand, just the tiniest bit. Grab a flat kind of concealer brush, which is, I have this one here, this is another Sonia Kajuk brush, it's a concealer brush. I'm just going to dab some concealer on my hand here, and I'm really just going to clean up the edges of the eyeshadow. Make it look a little bit more sharp and clean. I do find sometimes that it is easier just to go back in and kind of pat it with my finger. I use the brush to kind of create the precise line, but then I'll go and pat it in with my finger. Okay, so now we're gonna work on the lower lash line, and I'm gonna go back into that brush that comes with the kit and use the tiny little kind of shader one. And I'm going to go into this color called Factory. It's kind of a shimmery brown, very subtle shimmery. And just take a little bit on the end of the brush, and I'm gonna put that in the bottom lash line, hugging as tightly to the bottom lashes as I can. And I'm only taking it about halfway. So right under the pupil is where I'm gonna stop. All right, so then I'm gonna go back in with the same brush that I used before to do the lid color. And I'm going to be dipping it in a more shimmery shade to put as my inner eye highlight. And the one I'm gonna use for that is Dust. So I'm just gonna get it on the opposite side of the brush before I use this side of it to pack it on my lid. Now I'm gonna use the opposite side. And what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna put this on the inner corner here. And kind of bring it right underneath my eye to the brown. So then I'm just gonna take my fluffy brush that I used before to do the inner corners and things like that. Same fluffy brush from before. And then I'm just gonna kind of smoke out the bottom lash line. All right, so next we're gonna go in with the NYX Wonderpencil. This is a flesh colored pencil that I am going to be putting in the inner rim of my eyes in the waterline here. And the reason we do that is because it actually makes our eyes appear bigger, and it neutralizes any redness that may be on our inner rim or around our eyes. When you put black in the inner rim, it actually closes your eyes off and makes them look smaller. Now I'm gonna go in and curl my lashes. And then I'm going to apply some of the Falsies Volume Express. I really hate this mascara, to be honest. I like the Falsies Flared Mascara, but for some reason I grabbed this one out of the bathroom. So we're gonna use this one. And I don't like to waste products, so I am gonna use this until it's gone. But just being honest, I don't really like it. Okay, and so you can skip mascara and just apply falsies if that's your thing. I personally don't really ever wear falsies, so that's not something I would do, but if you guys are into it, go right ahead. And I'm not going to be applying any other eyeliner today either, because I do want to keep my eyes very open. Just kind of naturally beautiful, kind of it's a bit of a smoky daytime look. You can lighten up the colors on the outside here and create even more of a daytime appropriate look. Or you can do some different colors if you don't like these paired up. But I just thought that this was a very beautiful kind of sunset looking eyeshadow tutorial. So then I'm going to pair this up with some blush. And the blush that I'm going to be using today is a peach blush. And it is the ModelCo blush in Peach Bellini. I've actually never used this before, but I really wanted a peachy color to go with this look today. So we'll see how this looks. It's actually really kind of shimmery, so I'm a little bit afraid, but we'll see. And I'm just gonna apply it with another Sonia Kajak brush. This is just their kind of like, it's an angled face brush. And I'm just gonna dip it in there ever so lightly, tap off the extra, and go in. Okay, it's not as scary as I thought it would be, so that's good. Oh, I spoke too soon. It's very, very bright, and it doesn't really look peach. It looks kind of pink. It's actually making my face look like it's very, very red. So I'm gonna just kind of neutralize that a little bit with my beauty blender that I used before to do my foundation. And this is a great trick if you ever go way too heavy-handed with your blush. Just take the brush or the beauty blender that you use to apply your foundation and go over it, and it will kind of take down that extra crazy blush you got going on. So that's better. That looks much better. Alright, and then I'm going to go in with highlighter, and the highlighter I'm using today is NYX Lightscapade. Oh my god, I just got this not too long ago, maybe a couple weeks ago. Love this. I'm so in love with this highlighter. It's so pretty. That's what it looks like. It's got these gorgeous different kind of colors in it. It's kind of swirled with a little bit of purple, some yellowishness, some peachy pinkness. It's beautiful. Just taking on this fluffy brush here, and I'm going to be putting it on the top of my cheekbones. I also run it down my nose, particularly on like the end of my nose, that little button area, above the brow bone. And I already have my highlight on the brow bone, so I'm not going to take it there. And then I put some on my Cupid's bow. Some people also do their forehead and their chin. I don't like to draw extra attention to the fact that I do have breakouts on my chin and my forehead, so I do not highlight there. You don't ever want to put highlight on places that you are insecure about or uncomfortable about, because highlight draws attention to those areas. Say if you have like a crooked nose, you're not going to want to put highlight on it because it's just going to draw more attention to your nose. The light or your eyes will directly go to that area. Okay, and the very last step today is to go in with lipstick. And I'm going to be using kind of a corally orangey shade. And let's grab it here. The one I'm using is Coral Bliss by MAC. It's this beautiful kind of almost pinky coral shade. Obviously it's called Coral Bliss, so it's coral. It's gorgeous. Now my lips are extremely cracked today. Very, very dry. So I'm not going to have the most gorgeous looking lips right now. But this is a very kind of, it goes on a little bit sheer. It's definitely different than what I'm used to. I love my matte lipsticks, but this is, it's beautiful. It's a cream sheen formula, which pretty much means it's got this kind of gorgeous, glowy, glistening kind of look to it. It's kind of sheer, but it's still opaque. It's a really nice one. I also really like Pure Zen from MAC. This is kind of a subdued peach. For people who are a lot more tan than I am, that could be a very great neutral color, or kind of a nude neutral color. But for me, it does have a little bit of peachiness to it, which I really like about it. But yeah, you guys, this is the end of the completed look here. I really hope you guys enjoyed this. I put out new videos every Monday and Friday. Thank you guys so much for watching, and have a great day.